Hey, welcome to Coffee Talk. Today's coffee for me is espresso. That should tell you exactly how my week is going. Okay, Rochelle. So you were talking about how busy you've been. Remind me, you're in
I'm in
Washington.
Washington.
That's
Yep.
right. Okay. So I'm hearing a lot of people in Washington tell me how busy it is. And it's funny because I'm kind of noticing that, some places fire busy, can't even stay caught up. Other places, they're like the loans, nothing's ringing and dinging. So I'm curious where you guys are, and you can use the chat if you'd prefer. You can just come off mute. How does it look in
I'm
your
doing a
space?
lot of refis and HELOCs.
Mm, okay, all right. A lot of refis and HELOCs. Um, what about anybody else? Are you guys seeing loans pick up? Hi, Dee. Welcome. Hey, Rob. Rob, tell me about loans here in Texas. What are they doing? Oh, he's looking for that mute button. D, I saw you were, there he goes.
Sorry about that. I'm seeing a lot of refis. Uh,
Oh, you are breaking up on us a little bit, Rob. He's on the move, so it sounds like there's a bit of an unstable. I'm going to go ahead we are
no.
getting some stability issues from you, Rob.
Okay, sorry.
No, no, hey, it happens. Of course, right when I hear you, it's you saying sorry for that. Um, Dee, tell me what is going on in your area. Where do you live?
I'm in Maryland and nothing in my area.
Yep, that tracks with what I'm hearing. Teresa, hi, good morning, Teresa. Teresa's out in beautiful Napa, California, that area. What are you seeing for loans in your area?
Um, it's about stable. I get one or two a week. That's about it.
Okay, you're right, stable. That's a great
Yeah.
way to say that. That's a great way to say that.
Yeah.
Jeanette, what about you, honey? What's going on in Michigan with loans?
Not a whole lot. Most of my stuff comes from Rocket. I don't do too many for service. You know what I'm saying. You know
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say. Yeah, but everything I get is mostly from Rocket, and it's
gotcha.
like the previous. I might get if I get two a week, that's
That's
about.
great. Yeah, that's great. That's why we don't put all our eggs in one basket, right? Linda, out in Tennessee, tell me what is going on with loans out in my old stomping grounds, East Tennessee. Oh, Oh, there she is. She just went off camera. You need to unmute yourself first. Got it.
Those two buttons are too close together on that little bitty box for me to
I
try and work
know.
with this morning. I'm in the Knoxville area of Tennessee.
That's my hometown.
And
Did you
most of,
move? I thought you were in Oak Ridge.
well, Knoxville's more
It's taking
people,
over. Yeah.
people recognize. It's like if you're up in Michigan, you don't want to say you're in Novi or Brighton or Oakland or Wayne County. You may say I'm in Detroit, because
Detroit.
that's the one big
Yeah.
thing that people can relate to.
Wow, Linda, I have to be honest with you. Never in a million years did I think somebody would say Knoxville was the big city that people are attaching things
Well, it's a
with.
starting point, you know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
either that
Great
or,
town though, great town. So
pigeons.
how are loans out there?
I'm doing mostly general notary work, specialty work.
Okay.
I am getting requests for purchases, and it seems like a lot of refis, but they're all when I counter, but never hear anything from them. So I just figure, okay, move on, keep
Let the
going.
people that are willing to do it for $30 do it for $30. I mean,
Well, it's not $30, but for my black and red and black line, it would need to be a little more. So that's it. But it seems to be, for me, it seems to be growing. I'm trying to network. Was in fact just at a grand opening yesterday of a new venue for weddings, as well as a meeting center. talked to a couple people, saw a couple faces, and they waved, hi, you know, the recognition, I know
Yeah.
you. And I'm
Yeah,
sitting here thinking, I must be doing something right. They recognize
that's
me.
right. Yes, that's a
but-
great thing.
But the general notary work seems to be picking up.
Okay. Okay. I love it. I love it. And let's ask Amber Nicole, and Mary, I'm not asking you because you're driving. Rochelle's already told us. Amber Nicole, what's going on in SoCal? How are loans? Are they picking up, or are you just so invested in apostille that you're not paying attention to them?
You know, I get them a little here and there. I
Mhm.
don't, I want to say like even last year, I really like it slowed down quite a bit right after the holidays for me for loan signings. They started coming through quite a bit. But again, like that was like for like signing services kind of work, not direct. I had like direct like with like First American and some other title companies directly, but that I've mostly been focusing on the general notary work
Yeah.
and specialties and apostilles. Like that's like my bread and butter right now. Like, and I am all about that.
I know you are, girl.
And right now I'm getting ready for a doctor appointment, drinking my coffee with you. That's why my camera's not on because I'm curling my hair. And I'm like, oh yes, you don't want to see this.
No, no, it's fine. I have this is no makeup me today. I had to run out the door for a doctor's appointment that I completely forgot about. I've slept through my alarm,
Oh,
woke
love
up
it.
and was like, oh shit, I have a doctor's appointment. Like literally ran out the door, brushed my teeth, ran out the door. And that's why I'm drinking espresso this morning.
Yes, for the win.
But thank you guys for the temperature check because, you know, I know loans are like the default line, right? Like that's how we kind of measure the temperature of things. That's been the bread and butter of our community for so many years. But I know this group, I know you guys do a lot of other things too, because we have been pounding it in your head since 2022, right? Like diversify, 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 so that you don't have to see a major drop in your income. But I appreciate the temperature check on loans because I am seeing, you know, ups in certain areas, downs in other areas. I just the end of last week started hearing the word refi again, and several of you mentioned it today. So that's good to know that these things are happening. And this is the mortgage cycle. This is how this works. This is my background, if you aren't aware, I worked in operations for different mortgage companies, various mortgage companies for over a decade. Look, this is what mortgage does. In 2017, well before the pandemic, I was late, or 2016, wait, no, 2017. God, I don't even know anymore. I was laid off because interest rates were rising. And this is back in the 3% days. They were going up to like 4. I was laid off as part of a 20% corporate layoff because interest rates were rising to 4%. So this is what this beast does, right? It goes up and down. But enough about loans. I know you guys are divested in other things and you're out there doing those things. And if you are not out marketing those things right now, you are missing the boat. Spring and fall, guys, is when you really want to make a big push. And it's hard because our slow time is what? Winter and summer. Right. So I'm going to have you pushing on winter and summer marketing as well when things slow down a little bit. There's always that July lull. There's always that December and January lull. And of course, we want to use that to our advantage. But I want to hear now when it's springtime, things are picking up. What are you doing to market your business? Who wants to share what their plans are for spring marketing? Anybody? Everybody's quiet.
Have my PopIns figured out for Cinco de Mayo.
Did you see my post that I found about Cinco de Mayo
No.
ideas? Okay, so let me hear yours, Rochelle. And then y'all need to go. It was on my story though, so it's probably gone by now. But go ahead and tell us what you're doing for Cinco de Mayo, because that is an excellent, excellent, excellent holiday to market for.
I I want to do like chips and salsa.
Uh-huh.
And so there was a restaurant a local restaurant, I love their salsa. So I'm gonna, and they do sell it. And so I'm gonna buy some of it the day before. I'm gonna put it in containers. And I'll, of course, put a little label on it stating where it came from. And then I'm gonna buy bags of chips, which I've already found on Amazon, and
Nice.
mini donkey pinatas. And I'm gonna stick them in the bag. And then I haven't decided if I'm going to do a margarita mix. You can get powdered ones and stick them in there. I haven't decided, but I'm not going to put alcohol in there just because I don't think that's a good idea, but that's just me. And then little bottles of tahini, which I found at the grocery store that are on sale.
I love the mini bottles of tahini. Um,
Yeah.
That's an amazing idea. I love, love, love that. And how many of those will you be distributing?
Probably about 30 of them.
And then what is your cost for that? What is your budget for that?
I don't know yet. I haven't sat down and ran the numbers.
Okay.
It should only cost me approximately less than $100.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it seems like it would be so much more, right? With all that effort you're putting into it. But I love that, you're trying to keep this below 100. And if you ever want to use, like you said you were going to a restaurant. Our family's favorite Tex-Mex restaurant here is Christina's. And I think they have the best salsa on the planet. I could drink that stuff. Rob's nodding his head because he has one in his neighborhood too. He knows. But if you tell them, Rochelle, what you're doing, that you're using their salsa to market your business, they will very likely give you a discount.
I was going to do that. I was going to tell them that why I'm buying such bulk and that I'm going to be using it, and that I was as a marketing for myself, and that I was going to add a label to my container of salsa for them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I love it because you're not only in that instance promoting yourself, you're promoting this restaurant, because somebody could eat that salsa and have never had it before and be like, I got to go to this restaurant, right? So they see the value in that. So if you guys do something like any kind of marketing where you're leveraging, other people's businesses, whether it's a restaurant or anything else, the worst they can say to you is no, right? Ask the question, tell them what you're doing with this stuff, that you're marketing with it, and that you would like a discount, and see what they say. But
Yeah, like you said, worst thing they can say is no.
that's right. And who cares? Listen, we got to develop tougher skin. We're all, whether we want to admit it or not, we're all in sales, every single one of us, selling our business. And I know that's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of us, but it's the truth. And we have to learn how to hear the words no, because we're not for everybody, and not everybody is for us, right? So those are the lessons we learn as small business owners along the way. What about Amber? What are you doing for your marketing?
That's a good question. I want to know where she got these little pinata. All about that. I was like, oh wait, what?
Amazon sister, my best friend.
Amazon. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Party City doesn't exist anymore, right? So it's like, where do you go for party stuff? But um, Michael's, I know, has a lot of little things that you can market with. Target has seasonal themed, like right when you first walk in, there's their little dollar section that has little themed things you can use. Obviously, y'all know I'm a big fan of the $1.25 tree. Five Below has some great stuff that you can get inexpensively. Obviously, your Walmarts, any of your big box things, Costco, where you can buy things in bulk, right? But definitely capitalize on Cinco de Mayo, because it's such a fun holiday. And I believe, wait, what day does it fall on this year? Does anybody know off the top of their head?
Monday.
Is it Monday?
May 5th.
The 5th, yeah. Perfect time to get out, market. For me personally, Monday's a bit of a slower day because I've set it up as my admin day. The thing I saw that I wanted to share with you guys was a margarita glass that somebody purchased at, I believe it was the Dollar Tree. And they filled it with some shredded paper, like gift paper. And they put a mini bottle of tequila. And yes, you can do that. It is, if you don't feel comfortable doing it, don't do it. If you feel comfortable putting a little bottle of Casamigos or something in this glass, then do it. There's no right or wrong there. It's your comfort level. And then they created little mixers with labels on them. And then they put a lime and the mini bottle of tahini in there as well. And it was so cute. It was such a cute little gift and very, very, very affordable. How do you guys feel about putting liquor in a gift basket like that? Amber's like, give it to me, bring it, especially tequila.
Question though, because like for me, historically, April is always the worst month, and July. April and July are the worst months. Everything else, like thanks to Notary Assist, little plug out there, you can see the analytics of like years past.
Absolutely.
And every April, it's like dismal. I'm like, where I barely, like in previous years, that I barely brought in, like, I'm lucky if I brought in $2,000 for April. Like, I don't know what it is in SoCal where I'm at that April just falls. Obviously, because I'm doing apostees, it's not as bad, but it's still a lot lower than compared to last month was rocking and rolling, like January, February, March. And I was like, prepare for April.
Yeah.
Like,
Smart.
that is what, and it's like, no, hold on to all of your baskets. Don't buy a purse. Don't buy this. It's gonna happen. But for me out here, like now that I just recently moved, I am near like hospitals. I'm near a lot of medical facilities, doctors' offices, which, as we know, a lot of hospitals and doctors, they need apostees as well.
Yeah.
Since that is my gear, my like where I'm now redirecting most of my business, and I still need to go to hospitals because, you know, doing healthcare directives and things like that. Like, I don't know, I would assume, yeah, alcohol is great because like a lot they need a great day after, but like to marketing for apostille work, I don't know. This is new to me, like to have to market for that. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I've marketed before for loan signings. I marketed for estate planning. Like it should be no different. But in my head, I don't know why it's so different for me. And I feel,
well, it is different. It is different because you're walking into, you walk into an escrow office, you walk into a law office. It's different than walking into a hospital or a nursing facility. I mean, of course it's different. There's a different feel, it's different types of people, it's, completely different environment. Is it a good idea to walk into a hospital with little alcoholic treats? No, I wouldn't do hospitals, when I was talking about these gifts, I'm talking about title and escrow, estate planning offices, any shipping centers, that kind of thing, where it's your general marketing. Hospitals are different for sure. And so are you asking about how do you specifically market for your apostille business, or what do you take to the hospital?
well, I mean, even if I go to the hospitals and talking to like, the social, I was gonna say social security. No, not them.
No, social services. Yeah.
Social services directors, things like that. And again, this is going in blind. Like, I don't know the people that work there because again, I'm brand new. Like, I literally just moved like 30 days ago. So
Where are you now? You're not in SoCal? Where are you?
Well, I'm in SoCal, but it's just a different county where I'm at.
Okay.
Like here, it's like, okay, well, I mean, I'm still busy with notary work and things like that. But now it's like, okay, well, now I'm coming in not just to like a senior center, which that part is easy. Oh, here's little treats here and there, or occasionally, or hi, I'm Amber.
Yeah.
But to a hospital for apostille work, or even, hey, I can be the resource for your document preps and things like that. I guess that's where I'm kind of stumped, like, how should I market for apostille work? Because before it was like, hey, I'm reaching out on LinkedIn, I'm doing stuff like that. But to me, that's not marketing, even though it kind of is.
It is, yeah.
But in person, I like to say I shine and bubble-tastic that way. So I'm like, I don't know how to market the posse in person, much less to a hospital or to those doctors that are in that area. That I do know, like, there's 2 specific hospitals right next to me that do have international doctors, and they do. Because I did one doctor, he was doing some work in China, and well, not right now, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, but he was doing some work over there, going back and forth for his doctorate. So that's why I was like, okay, this is like completely different and new for me, that I was like, I'm gonna ask Jen on Coffee Talk.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did. And Amber Nicole, here's the thing. You still want to go back to your 5 points, right? And point 1, 1 and 5 kind of interchange. The popping in and networking, right? It's just about meeting people, getting in their faces. But I think and letting your personality shine. Marketing is building relationships, right? That's what it is. It's building relationships with potential business clients. And that's what you're going in to do to these hospitals. So I think you need to be yourself always, right? Don't change that, because part of your brand is your very bubbly personality. So do not change that, because the people that relate to that, that appreciate that, those are your customers, right? So don't let that drop. But I do think you need to bring something as a leave behind, simply for the fact that hospitals are very busy places with people coming in and out all the time. So you need a little something that's going to jog their memory, like, oh yeah, this is the chick that came in talking about apostilles, right? This is the chick that came in talking about notarizations or whatever. And I think anytime you go to the hospital, any hospital, whether it's like a care facility or a big giant trauma center, anything, you should absolutely lean into Laura's guide that she has for free as a resource on her website, coachmelaura.com, that talks about preparing your patients for an apostille or a notarization. Now, is that your main goal, getting the patients to call you for apostilles, Amber Nicole? No, probably not. But you don't want to waste that opportunity, right? Like, you're talking to the doctors about apostilling things that go out internationally. Have that conversation. Let them know that is a line of service that you offer. Perhaps make that part of your marketing materials in a small little leave behind, that these are the services you offer. But I think it's especially, and it feels different in a hospital, but I think it's especially important in a hospital that you leave something that they can attach to say, oh, she left me this is who she is, right? It just is a little brain connection. Does that make sense?
Would you think that, like, maybe like having like magnetic business cards for like the hospitals? Because I mean, again, like with hospitals, it's a total different animal in my head, and it's a little overwhelming, just because of all the things that I have going on, right? At the smallest thing sounds like, oh, it's a lot bigger than it actually is. But
I think your best bet to start, Amber Nicole, is to call the social services office and try and get an appointment first if you can.
Okay.
Use their time and your time wisely, because we're all busy. So try off the bat. I'm Amber Nicole. I have a service I offer. I want to talk to whoever's in charge of this, at the hospital in the social services, but I'd like to make an appointment, just 15 minutes. I want to come in and talk to you about my services. They're going to say yay or nay. Can you pop in? Of course you can pop in. Will you get access to social services office? Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Because there's no way of knowing, is that locked up? Is it accessible to, people coming in off the street? Most places now stop you hospital-wise for security.
Yeah.
And they want to know why you're there. So your best bet is really old fashioned, pick up that phone, girl, and ask the operator who's in charge of social services or a representative in social services that you can speak to about making an appointment to come in and talk about your services for the hospital.
Okay.
You're respecting their time right off the bat. They will appreciate that.
Okay.
And then you know your pitch, right? You've been doing this long enough. You know your pitch and how to relate to people. And then it's a matter of, I would leave that, like I said, a little leave behind. Maybe ask the question, how many copies of these do you need? They'll likely say, we can make our own copies. Like if you have something laminated or something like that, how to prepare your patients for notarization if they ask. You can offer to bring back more copies if they need it. But maybe like what Rochelle is doing, if you're going to market to them on Cinco de Mayo, right? Like get the little donkey, tie a pen to it that don't you have pens that you did?
No, I need to, now that I rebranded and stuff, a couple months ago. I haven't ordered new pens, but that's something that's been on my list. Like, hey, I need I mean, that's like a dime a dozen. Like we all need pens, right?
Right. Or get the branded Post-it notes and tie a little bow around it,
Okay.
for Cinco de Mayo. It doesn't have to be, or you could just do like a little static pop-in bag and just keep those that have pens and Post-it notes and, like the little mints in it or something. But just leave something behind because hospitals have a lot of people trying to sell them things
Right.
or talk to them about things. And you just want to leave that little distinguishing marker behind with
Okay.
the pop-in. But like I said, I would include so the donkey is, I'm assuming, Rochelle, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like flat on either side, like an actual piñata.
Yeah, it looks like a miniature pinata.
Yeah.
You
So like
can actually stuff candy in it too, I believe.
oh my God, everybody should be ordering these then. If you can actually stuff candy in it, hell yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, they're out on Amazon. All you do is type in mini pinatas. That's all I did.
I'm just going to get these to decorate my office. What are you talking about? You guys are gonna come back to another call. There's gonna be like a string of mini pinatas back here, just with little Casamigos bottles in them, though. I'll just like my emergency tequila back here. But like Amber Nicole, on one side you could, uh, put your business card. On the other side, you could put like that little leave behind, talking about how to prepare for an appointment. Maybe don't glue it, just tie it with a little pretty bow or something. Tuck a pen in there, just make it something a little unique.
That sounds cute. And then hide the tequila bottles in the pinata.
There you go. Hide the tequila. You get upset one day and you smash this. This is what, yeah.
Treasure.
But people ask me that all the time about alcohol for marketing, like the little mini bottles. And personally, for me, I think I love it. I've done it a few times. It has always been a big hit. It has always created conversation. It's always like, oh, wow, this is, people are used to donuts and Starbucks gift cards, right? Like, oh, how boring. So when you bring in something that's so out there, it does what it's supposed to do, what that pop-in is supposed to do, which is make people think about you when they need you, right? Because you've done something unique. If you're doing the same thing as everybody else, it's not unique and you don't stand out. So, but again, I want you to use your own gauge. If you're not comfortable with it, don't do it. Because that projects when you walk in if you're feeling uncomfortable about it. Rob, did you have a question for me? I saw your hand up earlier.
Uh, no, I'm sorry. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yeah, are you getting this storm? Are you in the storm?
No, I'm actually up in Oklahoma. That whole signing yesterday, I had to drive up to Arkansas to deliver it. It was a mess. Yeah.
What?
Uh, yeah, I drove up to Arkansas overnight and I'm driving back to Trophy Club now. Uh, Unfortunately, sorry to say, but your husband, I guess, was wrong. 'Cause when I showed up, they were like, no, we don't do this. And so anyhow,
So please
Um,
know, Rob, that UPS just announced yesterday, and this is how UPS does business, you guys. This is why my husband left after 23 years. He just started a new job, but they are changing, they're laying off 20,000 people and shuttering 78 hubs,
oh,
buildings. So it could have been, because he actually called the hub yesterday,
yeah,
said 8 o'clock, and it could have been one of those like at 4 o'clock they shut it down or something. I mean, that's how UPS does business. They will pull the rug right
right.
out from under you. So I apologize. So
That's
how did
okay.
you get
No,
it out?
I still owe you a bottle of wine because I really appreciate you and your husband both, taking that effort. But
And
yeah,
don't
this was
think
one of those
I'm gonna let
things
you
where,
forget that.
what's up?
I said, and don't think I'm gonna let you forget that.
Oh, I won't. But I do want to just mention about the suppliers. I just as you guys were talking about Party City and stuff, back when I was teaching, I used to get catalogs from a Oriental Trading Company, and
Yeah,
they might have a bunch of those small little things. You have to probably plan ahead a little bit. Like it's not 2-day prime shipping from Amazon, but it's probably a little bit cheaper.
yes.
But if
And
we're
it's
looking
bulk.
at your marketing calendar, we can plan ahead, you know?
Well, right. Yeah, that's what the marketing calendar is for. So you guys can plan ahead. So it's not always a last minute thing. You know, you can literally take that marketing calendar in your classroom and lay it out for the whole year. And that way you can budget as well. And that's one of the things we talk about in the instructional video. But Oriental Trading Company, I had completely forgotten about them.
Yeah,
I used to order stuff like for the kids when they were really, really little for their birthday parties and stuff.
there
I
you go. Yeah.
order it from Oriental Trading Company. Don't know how the shipping is because all that stuff comes in from China right now. I don't know. Are you guys feeling any of this yet? Tariff stuff? Is anybody feeling it? Right
My
now?
my wife works in logistics for a giant global logistics company, and she's been under a lot of stress, I can say lately. So
I bet
I
she
don't think it's looking very good.
I bet she has. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting couple of months.
Yeah, I'm gonna get off mic again just because I'm driving
Be
in
safe.
northern Oklahoma. All right, bye.
Safe. Yeah, and we're getting terrible storms here. It's black, black, black outside, like really dark. So be careful on the way back. Um, Joanne has not felt any of the stuff. So from what I'm reading, just so you guys know, this is not a political statement. Please understand that. I have to say that. But from what I've been reading from the economists that I follow, I believe it's going to be in the next week or so that we start seeing not bare shelves, but we're going to start noticing, you know, things are supply, I guess, is shrinking a little bit. Please don't go panic buy. That's not the point of this message, but I think we should, as we look at the rest of this year, I think if your budget is an issue, and if it's not, it should be. We should all be concerned about our budgets. I think that you should take a look at what you really want to do over the next year. And if you have the resources in the next week or so, I think you should do some pre-planning and pre-purchasing just to save yourself a little bit of money.
Jen,
Uh,
can I
mhm.
jump in real quick? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. All right. Speaking of that, and I'm not trying to get political or anything like that too, but everything I'm hearing is that uh, it's going to be less of like toilet paper type, desperation, and we can't find it on the shelves, and more non sort of traditional, I guess. Like they're talking school supplies are not going to be up there. So like our pop-in marketing stuff is probably likely to be difficult. And I'm not trying to tell anyone to go panic buy either. But
Mhm.
yeah, starting to plan ahead now might be,
I
for your fall and whatnot seasons and those pop-ins.
I think you're absolutely right. I'm hearing that too. It's stuff coming in from China. And the thing is, all those cute little mini pinatas we're talking about, all the cute little things, you know, the little mesh bags I use, all those things, they're all made in China, all those little accessory type of things. So those we're gonna feel it's gonna cost more. So if you plan, you know, for the past few months, because you know, obviously we knew this was coming. I've been buying like extra canned goods because while the food is packed here, yeah, there goes that $1.25 store. That's right, Joanne. While our food like comes from California or different places and it's packed, or it originates here, the linings and the cans are made in China. So for the past few months, I've been just buying extra canned goods, like 4 or 5 extra ones every time I buy groceries, just to make sure, you know, I mean, that's as a mom, that's my biggest fear is not being able to feed my family, right? So, but the same thing applies for our marketing. So if you guys have the resources, I would definitely take a look at the rest of the year and what your plans are. And if you can go ahead and order these things, everything I'm hearing is that starting after that first week in May is when we're going to start seeing price increases and, you know, not as full shelves. It's going to be an interesting time. And yeah, Joanne, you're right. Plant a garden. And it is next week, Joanne. You're absolutely right. Joanne's not talking to me this morning. She's just typing in chat. So she must have just woken up, I'm guessing.
Jen, I'm unable to talk freely right now, but I do have a question for you though, when
Yeah.
you're done.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What's your question?
So what are your tips to reconnect or follow up, back up with an attorney after a year of no contact?
I don't think you act like it's been a year at all. I think you pick up the phone and you call and you say that you know, I was thinking about you. You popped into my brain and I just wanted to reach out and see how you're doing and how is business. And I just wanted you to know I'm thinking about you and, you know, I hope everything's going well. And is this somebody that you've done business with before?
No, it's one of those I called and didn't expect him to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And had a great chat, but I'm one of those that didn't follow up.
It happens all the time and you're not alone.
Yeah.
Hardest part is the follow-up. But just pick up the phone and put your CEO hat on, Joanne, the CEO of her business, and take the reins and see how he's doing. And if you don't get through, you get the receptionist saying he's not available, then send an email. I mean, how nice is it to hear that somebody's thinking about you and just wondering how your business is going? And hey, just a reminder, I'm out here if you need something. That's it. That's the whole point of the phone call.
Okay, good to know.
Don't pitch yourself. Don't go into that whole thing. Just, you know, I'm thinking about you and I'm just reminding you I'm here if you need my services. And then follow up once a month. Ask if he would like to stay in touch with you and follow up once a month with your shout out.
Well, I guess he came to mind because now I'm really put in a position where I do need to get my attorney referrals like solidified because I've had a client who her father passed away. I did her parents' trust, you know, the notarization. But she texts me and says, well, I asked her and she said the trust wasn't funded. So, you know, I feel bad. She lost her dad. So one of the trustees is gone. And yeah, I really want to be a resource. But I don't feel I have a solid enough listings of attorney that I would feel comfortable. I've met a couple of them, so I did refer her. But yeah, I want to secure that and be confident and be like, oh yeah, let me introduce you.
And this is somebody, when you spoke with him, you felt like you guys had a good rapport?
Yeah. I was surprised he answered the phone and he chatted away.
You tell him exactly what you told me. And that's, when we first launched CNTDA 2.5 years ago now, almost 3 years ago now, I think. Anyway, so when we launched it, we told people, you gotta, one of the reach outs is connecting with attorneys for referral purposes. And the pushback we got was, well, I don't have anybody that's asked me for a referral, so I feel like I'm being dishonest. But we kept saying, you're going to have people that you need to refer to attorneys. You need to build these relationships so you can refer. This is a perfect example
Yeah.
of exactly that. And let me talk to you guys about something else that you can lean into as one of the services you offer if you are a CNTDA. And that is this: a follow-up phone call a month after the signing to ensure that their clients have funded their trust.
Thank you for bringing that up because well, I was going to ask Laura, but I was like, oh my God, I want to be more of service. That's not giving legal advice. It's just, yeah, it's a service to the clients because of.
You are providing a service to that attorney. It's one less phone call that he needs to make, which obviously whoever the attorney was on this instance didn't make that call, but it's following up. You can put this on your website, put it in your Google business profile, put it on social media, put it everywhere when you're marketing to attorneys that one of the services you offer is a month, and you're going to have to keep track of this, guys. You're going to have to get those calendars out and stay on top of it. But a month after their customer, their client has signed their trust documents, that you will make the phone call to follow up to ensure they have funded. Because if it doesn't fund, guess what's not legal? That trust.
Yeah.
What
And
a great service that is.
yes. Oh my
I
gosh, thank
hear
you
the
for
light
bringing that
bulb
up.
going off over your head, Joanne.
Yes. Okay, so if I can quickly share, and I share this in bills. So there was an attorney, I had a feeling he was an attorney who called me for services. He drafted his own, well, he said a trust, but he didn't have all his trust docs because I guess he knew that they all didn't need to be notarized. Anyways, he just had the wills for him and his wife. And so I was saying things that I wanted him to know, yeah, I know these documents. I took extra training. So when I saw his quitclaim deed, I said, oh, you got your deed to be notarized. Because those are rare. Like when I do trust packets, they barely, one time the lady had to call me back. So that's another travel fee because she didn't have it, her deed initially at the trust appointment. So
Yep.
when I just that simple comment, I said, yeah, oftentimes, I'm telling the attorney this, oftentimes I do these trust signings, they don't have the deeds. And I say, I remind the clients to make sure to, fund the trust. And he looks at me, he said, wow, that's so kind of you to remind the client. And so just along the whole appointment, I'm saying things that like I'm familiar with the documents type of thing. I've took extra training. And he took note of that, which I really appreciate. And I thought about, I'm like, wow, thank you, CNTDA. Because I didn't know about these documents.
Well, and good news, Joanne, and everybody else that's a CNTDA. On the latter part of this year, I am actually going to be reworking all of the marketing piece of CNTDA's marketing, and it'll be a 5-point marketing system specifically for CNTDAs, and it's going to include these follow-ups and these different little services you can tack on that elevate you even more than just your certification, right? It's really going to make you stand out to the different attorneys, but there's no reason you can't start this now, Joanne. Get out there and do your follow-ups and let your attorneys know that is now a service that you're offering. And for God's sake, put it on your Google business profile because it's going to make the general public feel even more secure coming to you knowing that they're going to get that reminder, because that's where they drop the ball. They get busy and they forget, or they don't truly understand that a trust has to be funded. They don't get that concept. So you offering this small little service makes all the difference. Rob, you got a question?
Yeah, and I want to go back to the talk on the economy here real quick. And I don't necessarily like this subject, but at the same time, I remember somewhere in some training I did talking about notaries being needed for bankruptcies. And I just kind of feel like that might be what's forthcoming for some people. And again, I don't necessarily like it, but it is a nature of the beast, you know. Oh, excuse me, my navigation's talking. How would you recommend we market ourselves that way? You know, should we start seeking out bankruptcy attorneys, or, you know, I have never seen like a course anywhere on, you know, bankruptcies for notaries or anything like that. But
Right. Yeah, obviously that's a not a fun topic, right?
right.
And yes, I think that there's potential for that as we cycle through, you know, the next 4 or 8 years. There's definitely potential for that. So I think that reaching out to any kind of bankruptcy attorneys is a
Minutes to
smart.
US
I'm gonna
69,
put you
US.
on mute really quick, Rob, just because you're Lola, I call mine Lola's talking to you. It's the same way you reach out to anybody else. 5 points. Initial meeting or popping in, right? Or networking, initial follow-up, monthly shout out, and your social media, gearing it toward those types of people. This 5-point marketing system, you guys, you could, like I said, I think it was on TNT yesterday, you could sell sweaters to lizards with this 5-point marketing system, because it is just, it's marketing 101 when you go to college, right? And you take marketing classes, that's what this is. So it's basic marketing, and you curtail it a little bit to each genre, I guess, by how these people are doing business. A bankruptcy attorney is going to be seeing, you know, probably an uptick in volume. It'd be a great idea now to get in front of them and let them know that you have a mobile service, you provide convenience, and if they need the time, if they have customers that need the convenience of somebody mobile, that you are there to help them, and you would like to stay in touch with them once a month so you can stay top of mind, and then you're sending them, you know, a value-driven email once a month. And what does that look like? Pull up your marketing calendar, and all your resources for that are right there, right? Because they're still part of your community. There's still, you know, they still live there, work there, play there. So you can still talk about the best coffee shops for meetings. You can still talk about, you know, your favorite Chinese restaurant. You can talk about the best place to get a breakfast burrito or whatever it is in your marketing. And it's going to apply to them as well, because they're part of the community. So when you take it from, pull your lens out, right? And look at whoever you're marketing to: bankruptcy, estate planning, elder care, family law, title and insurance, whatever it is, pull the lens back a little and just look at it more broadly. Like, these people are part of the community, and the marketing that you're doing is hyper local marketing, but it's also community based marketing as well, because that's what's going to allow you to stay popping into their email every month versus doing a hard pitch, right? If you're pitching them every month, they're going to be like, I don't have time for this, and they're going to delete it. But if you're offering value, they're going to want to read it. Does that make sense? Yeah? Awesome. But let's put a pin in that idea and continue to talk about it. I think we're moving into a phase in our business, you guys, where we are going to see not only the need for our services in different areas that we maybe haven't considered up to this point, like Rob pointed out, but I think we are also going to see, and this is something I'm leaning into for training in the future for next year, we're going to see the need for us to verify human beings. that we are going to walk into an appointment and say, yes, this is a living, breathing human being and not a bot and not AI. So that's something else thinking in the future as well that's going to be necessary. And that's a space that we will fill. Jeanette, let's take one last question. What you got?
Hi, Jan. I just wanted to thank you for taking my question. On TNT yesterday, I was talking about, this remote witness, that I did with the oath. I think I found the right language because, like I said, again, let me go back to it again. It was somebody literally found me, through actually 123, believe it or not, and she wanted someone to swear in a client because it was some kind of court proceeding. So I said, "Oh, well, sure." I had never done it before. I was nervous, but it was the easiest 50 bucks I ever made in my life. You're just there, you swear the person in, and then you get off.
Yep, that's
It
it.
was and that was it. But I think the right, because I put it on my page, on my profile, it's remote deposition witness. That's what I put down, and that's basically what I did. I just I swore this person in, and I guess it can be two things, which is two different things. You can be a witness or you can swear the person in. But I guess what I did was somebody that knows what that is would know what it is, the general, because I didn't know what it was until the lady called me.
Yeah. So same thing I said yesterday, you administer oaths and affirmations. So by you saying on your website that you offer witness services, you can maybe,
Because I looked it up, right.
you
Go
don't,
ahead.
I don't think you need to explain beyond that. Witness
Right.
services, and then offering, that you offer oaths and remote oath and affirmations. And you can explain it further if you want, like remote deposition. Don't use the word Ron because the general public doesn't know what that means. We know that's industry speak. We
Right,
know what it
right,
means.
right.
So I like the word remote, leave it at that.
Right.
And yeah, play with it, Jeanette, see what kind of traction you get from it. Or if you really want to tap into the lingo and make sure it's right so that attorneys understand it the second they come across your page, pick up the phone and talk to some attorneys and ask them.
Okay.
And while
Okay.
you're asking them, right, let them know that you have the service.
Okay. Okay.
And just say, like, I'm trying to, even if you're talking to the receptionist, like, I'm trying to get the language right so that, because we call it one thing in our industry, you call it another. I want to know what you call it in your industry, because,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Because they might call it something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well,
and
go
then
ahead.
use that phone call too as a way to try to connect with that particular law office.
Okay. All right. Can I do a service announcement? I hope I'm not out of order. And everybody can Google this. In 2025 of January of 2025, there was a new law that went in effect January 5th that there used to be something called a windfall provision. And I was a federal, I retired as a postal worker, right? But bottom line is, after going through the procedure, I am now able to get what they call spousal Social Security, which I couldn't before. I just want you guys can Google it. It's real. I got my check starting tomorrow. So that's just, that's income that I'll have from now on. So it's just like I said, Google it,
Right?
and just, I
Yeah,
just
thank
wanted to
you
kind
for
of
that.
throw it. I just wanted to kind of throw it. It's called the Social Security Fairness Act. Look it up. Call
Nice.
Social Security, and it's real.
Nice. I love it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, guys, do we have any last minute questions before we go today? I love this call. I love the different things we talk about every week. Such great ideas that come out of this every single week. Thank you guys for participating.
I have one.
Yeah, what you got?
I did a signing for Old Republic. It was out of state signing, and they sent a attachment that stated on the Patriot form that I had to sign, and once I did my name, my title had to say Notary Public, not signing agent.
Mhm.
And I remember we had a discussion about this a couple weeks ago,
Mhm.
and I'm like, what?
Yeah. So if you're signing in capacity as a notary public, so think about it. That opens up an opportunity for fraud if somebody else got their hands on that piece of paper. So as a responsible notary public, and I would actually look up in your state the notarial law that talks about this, because I don't know and you're bound by Washington laws, not the law of the state where this came from, okay? So
Okay.
find out what room you have to move there and just let them know, just say, you know, I participate in different educational groups, and you know, notarial law is very important to me because this is my commission, and I sign as a loan signing agent or something else, not in capacity, because I'm not stamping this document. You don't stamp the Patriot Act. So you
Right.
can't really sign in capacity as a notary public. So have a discussion with them about it and explain to them why it's an issue by citing your particular state law.
Okay.
Chances are, Rochelle, they still believe, even though every single person in that title office is probably commissioned notary, they don't come to TNT. They don't have a relationship with Laura Bewer. They don't know that they still believe that notarization is a sign and a stamp, and they don't take it as seriously as we do. And I know this firsthand because I've worked in those mortgage offices and those title companies. And I have been told, just stamp it. What's the problem? Just put notary public. What's the problem? That's your title. You know, they don't get it. So the only argument that works is when you cite your state laws about it.
Okay.
Okay. So
No.
look those up because I don't know off the top of my head.
Right.
And
That's okay. Yeah, I'll look it up.
yeah. And if you need help formulating maybe the right thing to say, you know, reach out to me, or, you know, Laura has that 15-minute free call
Right.
that you can do as well. So reach out, we'll help you, you know, formulate the right thing to say. But it is important that you're following, obviously, your state laws, because at the end of the day, this document ends up in front of a judge. What happens?
My line on the butt.
And they can't guarantee that that's like, we've never had anything go to court. You cannot guarantee me that it won't, right? So you have to have these discussions in a non-confrontational, of course, kind of way.
Right.
And isn't this the office that you said had kind of
Right. No, this was an out of state signing. I got it off one of my platforms. It's not. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Oh, did you have something else, Rochelle?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you. Great question, though. I love that because it is important we follow the law, you guys. All right. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you back here next week. I wanted to tell you, and let me just pull up this calendar for May since it is right around the corner. May 14th, if you are planning on going to the National Notary Association conference in June, you will want to be on our Building Authentic Relationships call May 14th, same time. You guys know every week at 8 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, we have some kind of call in this group. But May 14th, please put that on your calendar if you're going to NNA, because we are going to go over everything you need to know, including what to wear to the gala and all that kind of stuff for NNA conference this year. We have 20 people from our group going, which is huge. And I'm so proud of that. So mark that on your calendar in 2 weeks, sorry, golly, to attend that call. All right, guys. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.